Next, we are going to be watching every single Warhammer 40k, WH40k faction re-explained. Part 1 by Ricky. Make sure to subscribe, like, and leave a comment in the doodly-doo. This was recorded live at twitch.tv/LuminusRed. Head on over, hang out, drop a follow. It would mean the world to me if you did. In the meantime, I would like you to know that I emailed Bricky specifically to get permission because I know that he prefers that, well, he's okay with reacts. He prefers people to ask for permission first. So I made sure to do my due diligence, and I have a Bricky seal approval. Let's see if I edited in a Bricky seal of approval edit. We'll see how tired I am when I make this video. Hey mods, do you want to make me a Bricky seal of approval so I can stamp it on this easily and not be very tired after stream? Thanks, you're the best. They might not do that, but I'm just gonna tell them they're the best anyways. I'm bribing them with kindness. But in the meantime, we're gonna find out some things. I don't know anything about Warhammer 40k. It's not gonna be good? That's perfect. I don't know anything about Warhammer 40k. I've watched a lot of Bricky in the past. I was really into his League videos because I'm a League nerd. I main Vi Jungle because I'm a lesbian and like punching things. Two things at once. I'm both. I'm the alpha and the omega. I am the beginning and the end. I'm gonna watch this video. Let's do this thing. It's 2 hours long. We'll see if my ADHD will get me through this. Maybe I'll split into 2 videos and then we'll have part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and it'll be great. I'm gonna out freaking manage you, Bricky. Little brickster. You're gonna get all bricked up. Oh my gosh. Let's do this thing, buddy.
In the kind brightness of the far past, there was no war. Our galaxy was, for a long time, fairly empty and quiet.
Got it.
The first known species to appear during this time are known only as the Old Ones, cosmic entities that traveled across the galaxy with ease and seeded life through the stars. Shortly thereafter, a new species began to arise.
Lesbians.
The Necrontyr.
Oh, sorry, go
under
stop.
the harshness of a devastatingly powerful star, the short-lived and
Thank you for the follow, Amber Sir. Whoa, dyslexia. Ambarhura Nalinia. You just saw an emote of mine in another stream. Your emotes are so rad and your model's super cool. We'll be back. I'm really glad. Welcome in. I hope you have a great day. I thank you for coming on over from a emote. That's cool. I like that.
a radiated Necrontyr.
Jason Namota. Sorry, no, that like it's Jason Momoa, but he's an emote. Jason Namota. I feel like he would get less box office views, but yeah, Jason Emota. He's behind me, isn't he?
Try to find the secret to
I'm
eternal
behind
life
you, aren't I?
and be freed from their terrible existence.
Okay.
As they expand through the stars, they find the Old Ones and they plead to them to share the secrets of the universe and grant them purchase from their short and painful existence.
Cool.
The Old Ones respond with a lol and a lamau, and with their immense power, they force them back to their homeworld. The Necrontyr, filled with rage and hatred, make it their duty to get revenge on the Old Ones. A revenge that would come swiftly as a chance encounter with other gods gave them a solution.
Honestly, this is totally based. I'm so down to kill God. I don't know. Use the power of anime to kill God. It's ironic because normally Jesus and anime kind of coincide. That's a power you normally have on your side. But if you use the power of anime to kill God, I don't know. It makes sense to me. I think that they shouldn't use I think it sounds like they're going to be using the power of other gods, but they should have just invented anime and then they could have killed God. I don't know. I'm just a blue-haired lesbian with pronouns. Of course, I like to kill God. No, I don't know. I'm neutral on that. I'm not. But I like saying I'm going to kill God, even if I'm not. I'm actually kind of neutral on it all, and I'm not like. I'm fine with. It doesn't bother me either way as long as you're respecting people. I don't know. But I want to kill God. But and I'm okay either way. Just don't take this as me actually try to be like anti-religious or anything like that. But I'm gonna kill God.
These other gods were known as the Catan, a race of highly powerful star-consuming entities.
Okay.
Do not fear, young mortal.
Star-consuming entities. They're gonna eat me out? What? Hi? Bye?
For we, the Catan,
Jason
will provide
Flores.
you with the immortality you seek. Come now.
Jesus was the first Joestar. Correct him, Mooseboosh. Catan? I like Catan.
Oh, won't you shake a poor sinner's hand?
Sure.
Quoted from Mephetron, the
Tiny.
Deceiver, the Necrontyr.
Oh my gosh! Wait, that was the tiny Bricky with tiny Limmy. Tiny Bricky
Quoted
with
from
Bricky. You need to do this dance that she's doing so that I can have you two together doing it. You should You should do the... I just had object permanence fail on me. I was looking at my main screen where I can't see this thing, and then I was like looking back and forth between my OBS where I can see it, and I was like, why is she disappearing? Why is she disappearing? Why is she... I apparently I have the object permanence of a child. Get Bricky doing this. But we've got little Bricky with little Lumi. They're friends. We love her friends.
Fetron, the Deceiver. The Necrontyr accepted the C'tan's offer of immortality, but believe it or not, this turned out to be a ruse. A trick. The C'tan crafted gigantic furnaces and began the process of biotransference. The Necrontyr willingly walked line.
I love the confidence of this man wearing sweatpants through this entire video. Nothing wrong with it. It just feels like a confident thing to do. I'm really proud of him. It's like legitimately no slight against him. It's awesome. But I feel like a lot of people will be just like, oh, people are going to think down of me for wearing sweatpants. But he's like, no, fuck that. I'm going to be comfy. And we're like, yeah, honestly based. Are you saying little Lumi is getting pricked up? Yeah. Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
Line by line into the furnace engines made
by
gods who devour stars and had their souls consumed instead. The short-lived,
thank you for the follow.
irradiated and...
Wait a second. What? Thank you for the follow. How do I spell your name? Okay. That was not helpful. Arielate, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. I can't see or read because I'm dumb. Also, I've got dyslexia. That's more important, but you know, that's the
cancer-inflicted race of the Necrontyr.
Oh, it said cancer. I heard hamster. He said cancer.
And the immortal.
But are cancers anything but hamsters? Wait, what? No, are hamsters anything but a giant tumor walking around with little legs? Jeez.
Soulless Necrons remained. Now backed by the immense power of the C'tan, the Necrons rally against the Old Ones, and the bitter conflict in the stars at this time is known as the War in Heaven. Despite creating various races and entities to aid them in this battle, the Old Ones are overwhelmed and eradicated down to the last, due to the sheer power of the C'tan fat off the souls of the Necrontyr, and with an army of unthinkable robotic slaves at their behest. However, the C'tan are greedy, spiteful gods, and when there was no foe worth killing, they turn on each other. The Necrons then put their sights towards the C'tan.
Who would have seen this inevitable betrayal inevitably happen? Firefly reference. Just smashing dinosaurs together. This inevitable betrayal. I mean, it was always gonna happen. Gods be killing gods. Then they want to kill more gods. And guess what? You're a god who kills gods. Guess it's time for a god to kill the god. It's just god things. This is what gods do. You know, it's just godly of you, you know? It's just like friendship. It's godly. It's just godly of you. We're actually working on that.
Securing their freedom. The once subservient Necrons now control their former masters. Worn out and weakened by these wars, the Necrons under their leader Zarek, the Silent King, lie dormant with a plan to eventually
Master Vampire, thank you for resubscribing.
Master Vampire 117 just resubscribed for 4 months. Oh no, who could have seen this coming?
The inevitable betrayal. Also, this guy needs a better face. Just saying. He has a mouth, but no jaw. He can't eat food. He can't scream at people. He can't bite people. What kind of a life is that? I had the Twitch closed captions on, clear saying, "Enjoy your blood roasted supper."
Reclaim control over
Enjoy
the
your
galaxy.
blood roast supper.
Over millions of years, empires rise and they fall. The species created by the Old Ones have footholds over the galaxy, but on a pale blue dot, in the thick of all this conflict, humanity begins to evolve. And for the most part, the basic path of humanity's evolution remains the same as it is now for almost 15,000 years. Right now, in the 21st century, this is canon. You, right now, Twitch streamer reacting to this video, you existed at a point.
Excuse me? Excuse me?
Twitch streamer reacting to this video. You exist.
Yeah, okay, I feel called out. Oh no, I've been called out. I've been called out. He's aware. He is very aware. Chat versus Lumi. GS Game who wins. Chat. Cotton Fourier. I mean, I did tell him I was coming here, so I guess it works out. Oh no, he knows you're watching. This is just for me. I guess you all can't watch this. Or maybe you can only watch me watch it. You're not allowed to watch the original video. You're only allowed to watch me, I guess. I was going to say go watch the original video because I want to support that, but like, I guess this is not for you. I'm sorry. I'm trying my best out here to help you, Bricky, but I guess if this is only for me, then I won't force it on you. God, 180p. You know, YouTube should let you do 2K videos. Jeez.
At a point in the Warhammer universe. But with time, humanity's ambition and the power...
The Warhammer universe is screwed because I exist. I'm just saying. If I'm in their history books, they're worse off than they are before. The revelation that I'm in those, I don't care how bad this universe ends up being, it's worse because I existed. Because I'm a menace. Mwah. Mwah. Mwah.
Order of their technology becomes unmatched,
God,
and the
40K.
golden age of expansion begins. Humanity starts to branch out through the stars with powerful tools used for agriculture, mining, and expansion. Some branches of humanity would eventually settle far away from Earth itself, and around this time, the psychic ability of humans are greatly expanded, and what we begin to know as psykers appear. But despite all the progress, things would begin.
I love when fantasy shows have to come up with a new name for something that freaking we already know. It's like from like when in The Walking Dead they can't call them zombies, they're walkers. It's like, yeah, no, this can't be a psychic. There's psykers or new types or like it's just like, come on, we know it's psychic. We know you're being fancy, but like they're psychics. You don't need to hide this. What the heck? Who is this Slaanesh? People keep telling me, I keep seeing this name popping up here, and I'm like, maybe I need to know who this Slaanesh is.
To collapse.
Slaanesh.
The machines created to aid humanity would turn on them in M23, an event known as the Cybernetic Revolt, and trade would begin to collapse due to the immaterial warp, aka actual hell, beginning to cause ruptures in space and time. These warp stones...
Actual hell? What the actual hell? There's actual hell invading Earth, or what the heck?
Would separate humanity, and this would be what is known as the Age of Strife. The warp, a sea of souls, storing all thought, emotion, and the souls of those who have passed on, begin fluctuating into something terrible as
does heaven exist
on the horizon,
then? If hell
something
exists?
horrendous was brewing. You see, the warp isn't just a random...
So hell exists but no heaven. What? Doom music intensifies? Where's the Doom Slayer of this universe? And just like, that's just gonna do genocide on hell?
An assortment of chaotic energy. It is fairly well organized thanks to those living in the galaxy. The warp itself acts as an afterlife of sorts, and the actions of the innumerable amount of creatures who live in the galaxy have manifested a pantheon of organized entities known as the Forces of Chaos. At their helm are three major entities, Khorne, Nurgle, and Tzeentch. However,
I was looking for a glasses cleaner and I heard Khorne. And I'm just like, wait, did we switch mid-sentence to what their main agricultural product is? It's like, Earth makes corn, narwhals, and screech, which is an alcohol from Newfoundland. I'm just like, wait, we're only exporting corn, narwhal meat, and screech? Jeez, okay. I mean, I guess those might be the most delicious things on Earth, but I don't know. I've never ate narwhal. But, you know, I guess if that's what the future is. Honestly, that's true what the future holds. When we go into the universe, we shouldn't go with the hand of peace. We should go with a handful of narwhal meat and corn. Delicious corn and narwhal meat. Corn-covered narwhal meat. Yes, we figured it out. And then you down it with a glass of screech. Corn is weird. Corn, not corn, but it's said the same. It's corn. But for the blood god,
Slaanesh was about to be
Slaanesh.
Born. The ancient Eldar were one of the first.
Why are they clowns? Excuse me, why are they clowns? You're like, okay, people have been telling me Slaanesh for so long. People are like, Slaanesh is awesome. But why are they all clowns? And why is this a thick clown? Why is this clown so unusually thick?
species created by the old ones, and due to their extreme and unbridled excess, the birthing of Slaanesh tore a hole in the galaxy and forever split the Eldar into those of the Craftworld, who sought to bring their species back together, and those of the Drukhari, who wished to continue what caused the birth of Slaanesh in the first place. The birthing of this fourth chaos god settled the warp storms of the Immaterium and ended the age of strife, but humanity was still fractured. So one man revealed himself and spearheaded an immense attempt to reunite all the fractured pieces of humanity. That man was the Emperor of Mankind. After reclaiming
I thought it said that Mam was the Emperor of Mankind. I'm like, oh, the Emperor's trans-based.
Nearly destroyed Earth, the Emperor embarked on the Unification Wars to unite humanity under the banner of the Imperium of Man. However, due to the very long and devastating impact of the Age of Strife, humanity as we know it is not the same. To reconquer Earth, the Emperor would need more than mere men. Great beings, known as the Thunder Warriors, were recruited by the Emperor to reclaim the Earth with ease. But these warriors are a blunt tool and had overstayed their welcome.
I could not.
He would need something better, and that solution would be known as the Space Marines. Superhuman soldiers that will have the skill and cunning.
And then Jim Raynor falls in love with Kerrigan, and then she turns into a Zerg. I remember how this goes. I remember this.
Exponentially greater than the mortal man. These new warriors would be commanded by an elite group of his very own sons, known as the Primarchs.
That's not a good idea.
Daddy didn't charge the baby monitor, and his 18 sons will be stolen by the forces of chaos. And
let me tell you about history. Never leave it to your children. Freaking Alexander the Great freaking messed up. What the heck? Nova is better than Kerrigan. I agree, Outer Puppet. But Jim Raynor liked Kerrigan. But then that leaves Nova for the rest of us. Yeah.
Scattered across the galaxy. This would begin the Great Crusade, a monumental task to take back the stars in the name of humanity.
What about the planets?
And reclaim the lost Primarch sons. However, he would need the fires of industry to make this happen. Looking to the distant cousins of Mars, the Emperor signed a treaty with the technologically irradiated hellscape of the Red Planet and allowed the cult—
Wait a second. It's irradiated? They never found a solution to freaking Mars not having a magnetosphere? In this far-off future, they never found a solution to Mars's magnetosphere problems? They were not able to establish a breathable atmosphere or deflect some solar radiation? Dear Lord. Oh, they did. But it's still irradiated? What happened? I'm missing a step here.
Of the machine god, the Mechanicum, to supply his crusade. While Space Marines were the tip of the spear, their numbers pale to the vast might
nuked it again.
Of the Imperial Army and Navy. The Astra Militarum and their seemingly endless numbers make up the bulk of the fighting force for humanity, supplied by the intelligence and prowess of various agents of the Imperium, such as rogue traders and assassins. Due to the lack of connectivity between the worlds, what a society had become over thousands of years became mysterious and varied. Tools once used for harvesting and agriculture now are being used as machines of war in the form of Imperial Knights. Some of these fractures of humanity would even be changed further and become unrecognizable to the average human, with differences in size, skin color, appendages, cat ears sometimes.
Cat ears? There's cat girls in this? Bricky, you buried the lead. You should have started with the cat girls. You should have started with the cat girls. Why didn't you start with the cat girls? Honestly, it's kind of a problem. Like, I think you need to remake this entire video. Start with the cat girls. And then that's a nice little intro point to the universe. Then we can go to the start of creation. But like, hey, just heads up. All this is leading to there's cat girls. And that would be really good. Also, I like this guy's design for some reason. I don't know, like, this guy's mask looks dumb, but this mask's cool. Dumb, cool. Dumb, awesome. Lame, totally rad. Horrible, pure art. Garbage fire, beautiful masterpiece. You get it? There's a dragon woman? Oh my gosh, Warhammer Fantasy, I'm gonna have to look into.
Some would go so far to become their own galactic societies, like the miners of the Galactic Core and their immense supercomputers, forming the Leagues of Votann. After an incredible amount of effort and books, the lost sons of the Emperor would be reunited, and the Imperium of Man would be firmly established. This,
good job,
however, would not last.
Thought
Being
so.
intentional or accidental, the Emperor would not reveal to his sons the true nature of the galaxy and the terrors of the warp. And this oversight would result in one of the most impactful wars in humanity's history. The favorite son of the Emperor, Horus, would fall to the powers of chaos and turn.
Did he name all of his sons after gods? Because that seems a little bit insane. We're getting gallons of Warhammer 40k. Voltron. I want to rewatch Voltron. That sounds fun.
On his father. This betrayal, this backstabbing, this heresy, this Horus Heresy would result in a split in the Imperium with devastating consequences. Half of the Emperor's loyal sons would fall to chaos and become the Chaos Space Marines, along with the forces of the Dark Mechanicum and the Chaos Knights. The conflict will result in the absolute...
What is this proportioning? Sorry, I'm just trying to figure this out. This head looks way too massive for the body. What is happening? Also, it's like, I'm angry. Look at me, I'm angry.
Obliteration of Horus and the physical death of the Emperor himself. The near-dead body of the Emperor will be placed on the Golden Throne to serve as a beacon of humanity and allow for the continued ability to travel the stars, protected by his most loyal, the Adeptus Custodes. The Imperium would be vulnerable.
So because he didn't tell people how to do FTL and the secrets of it, now he has to be an eternal corpse so they can mine his brain to make the wormholes or the warps. Seems like a bad system. Bro should have just told someone, honestly, or at least a computer. I don't know, a computer with like the ability to be like dole out this information without like sharing it. I don't know. I feel like there's a better situation out of this.
And Terra would find itself under siege by one of the most...
Remind me to tell people all my important secrets before I die, so that I'm just realizing the Bricky is upside down. Remind me to tell all my secrets to someone before I die so that they don't keep my body alive forever, okay? Someone remind that to me, okay? Please. I'm gonna add that to my will.
Formidable species in the galaxy, the Orcs. As time went on and memories of the Emperor's vision began to fade, the Emperor would become less of a head of state and more of a religious figure. And the Imperium would change to reflect this. The leadership on a planet would be at the behest of the High Lords of Terra, and their actions would be
the underboob? Sorry, I just noticed the underboob immediately. Computer and AI is outlawed in Warhammer? Oh no. They make FTL jumps without a computer to calculate? What the heck? But I just noticed the underboob. My brain immediately, hi, I'm gay if you don't know me. I'm a lesbian. I kiss women, or I'd like to. I'm very sadly inexperienced, but I saw underboob, so my brain went like, you get it.
Of the incomparable power and authority of the Inquisition. The zealots of the
Spanish Inquisition
would intensify.
I didn't expect the Spanish Inquisition in this video. It's just like they say, you never expect whatever I was talking about.
Create a brand new era known as the Age
use human brains
of
to make
Apostasy.
computers?
And this ecclesiastical command of the Imperium would end up with one of the strongest fighting forces of Terra, the Adeptus Sororitas. Over time, this age would come to pass, and we would approach the 40th millennium of Warhammer 40,000.
Wait. Yeah, roll credits. Oh gosh.
Which, you guessed it, would come with its own form of problems. A
I'm
primitive
10 minutes,
species
11
once
minutes in
found
Dragon.
during a recon mission would be able to
Wait,
evolve...
was that the nun? Was that the battle nuns? Is that the battle nuns? Is that people said? Is this the battle nuns? Is this the battle nuns? Is this the nun power? Is this them? I think they're my favorite. They're my favorite. They're my favorite. People told me about them. They have to be gay. I'm sorry, they have to be gay.
Over time, this age would come to pass, and we would approach the 40th millennium of Warhammer 40,000.
Awesome.
It would come with its own form of problems.
Awesome.
A
It's
primitive species once found during a recon mission
Barmer.
would be able to evolve in relative secrecy for 6,000 years, becoming a highly advanced coalition of aliens known as the T'au Empire. And if the threats of the galaxy weren't bad enough, there are threats from outside the galaxy. As a monster has begun to wrap its tendrils around the Milky Way, the Tyranids, monsters that serve a psychic hive mind and present tactics previously unseen in the Milky Way. Be it a direct assault with their
Adaptus Sororitas. Yes, Sisters of Battle. Okay, I think that's my favorite faction. Because women. I don't want to be shallow, but I like that idea. And based on what I just heard about them here, they seem pretty cool. You remember the Zerg? I do. This feels like the Zerg. Is this the Zerg? Is this game just StarCraft? Or is StarCraft just this game? I don't know which one came first. I'm assuming StarCraft came second. Is StarCraft just this game but simplified violently? Also mine, them and the Imperial Guard.
Bug-like presence, or through the more covert gene stealer cults. The presence of yet another threat in the galaxy is proving to be overwhelming to the Imperium. In the 41st millennium, there is no peace.
StarCraft was supposed to be a Warhammer game. That makes a lot of sense. It feels like it. It does feel like this is just pre-StarCraft, or StarCraft is just this, but later.
The stars. At any point, your life can and will be threatened by the Xenos races uncountable, or by the arch enemy of chaos within, or by the decroded terror that is the Imperium itself. It is to live in the cruelest and most bloody regime imaginable. Forget the power of technology and science, or the safety of promise and understanding. For in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war.
Oh, now we're at the title card. Okay. Again, part 1. Try to get out of the way. Couldn't move far enough. Curse, this is VTubing Model E. Excuse me?
A fantastic job once again, Mr. Kurz, the Night Haunter himself.
Huh?
Oh, didn't you love that, my faithful audience? Once again, we have another criminal over the course of 6 hours break every single bone in his body.
What?
And with that, once again, our glorious leader has brought the crime rate to 0%. Always brought to you here on Nostroman News. I'm your host, Ricky. Thank you once again for joining us.
Oh, that's
Our
a good
top
joke.
stories for
Ace
tonight.
joke.
The weather forecast appears to be rainy with extra dark, so make sure you pack those extra batteries for your lamp packs. And of course, let's not forget the fantastic gang violence problem we're currently having. Oh,
what?
I'm sorry. What's that? Oh, right. It's gone.
Oh
It's
no.
going to be a chilly one tonight as well, so make sure your skin capes are nice and tight.
Skin capes? I don't know if I want to wear a skin cape. That's not how I enjoy skin as much as the next girl, but as a cape, I'd like it more on a living person so I can kiss it.
Wait, hold on. One moment.
One moment. What is it?
Adamantium reserves have tripled?
Adamantium? Wait,
I'm
Marvel?
sorry. Self-harm rates have gone down to 0%.
is that the Rock hugging a rock?
The Night Haunter smiled? No.
Wait, isn't but Adamantium is Wolverine from Marvel. Is this a Marvel free franchise? Does Warhammer take place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Not the comic books, but specifically that one. I don't know. Skin cape's like a leather cape, but like if it's skin, it makes it feel like it's human skin. I don't know.
No. This could only mean one thing.
What?
It is the Strawman News' great privilege to bring some color back in your life with the
is this
brand new
GamerSupps?
3-part GamerSupps drop exclusively on this here news
I thought
network.
so.
That's right, your esteemed host, Bricky, myself, is dropping a 3-part.
Whoa, that is waifu jugs for sure. Oh my gosh. I just did. Scroll back. I need to see this beautiful woman. Give me a second here. I need to see her abs. Dear Lord, those are lickable. I mean, kissable. I mean, humana. Woo! My Lord. Oh no, an ad. Oh, I wish I had some jugs. I mean, what? Oh no, his capes is based off the nuns. Is it still available? I doubt it's still available. What this came out 4 months ago. Notice the cheek marks? Notice the cheek marks. Zoom and enhance by looking at the screen really closely enough to damage my eyes. Ah! Can't see. I can't see anything. What do you mean cheek marks? My zoom and enhance failed me. It failed me. Probably not. Okay, eBay, here I come. They have Frederin's. Ooh, they do? Okay. Oh, they're so buff though. Maybe I'll just get the GamerSupps favorites so I can have the can. That'd be good.
3-part GamerSupps
he zooms in later.
Release
nice.
For pre-order available now and only for a couple of weeks. Not only does it include a completely brand new artwork reskin of the Sweet 6-pack flavor, one of the highest selling flavors in the entirety of GamerSupps, but it also comes with the first ever all-over print GamerSupps 32-ounce jug. And if that isn't enough for you, if the phenomenal drink and drink holder is not enough for you, we have...
You had me at buff women. I'm sorry. You had me at buff women. Dear Lord,
a
buff
desk
women.
mat to go along with it.
God.
That's right. The Herculean look of the brand new Sweet 6-pack style is here. We're still looking at muscles beyond belief, but this time we're talking taste. We're talking Atlas. We're talking smooth. And if that wasn't enough, your co-host specifically, should you pre-order all 3 of these items, will personally hand sign a note for you, thanking you for supporting this network.
Nice.
All of this you can receive for 10% off if you go down in the description of this video and click the link, or go to gamersupps.com/Bricky and use code Bricky.
Even the tubs are sold out. The pre-sales ended, but like, okay, I can still get this one, but I can't get the limited, it's a limited edition. I can still get these ones, because that's still pretty amazing. I might have to get one of these, I don't know. But it's all gone. eBay, here I come. eBay, here I come. eBay, here I come. Still use this code, though.
Save 10% off with code
Use this
Bricky.
code.
Bring
Use code Bricky.
Back into your life and increase production across the
His
board
old one was also
for our
good.
glorious leader, the Night Hunter. Thank you, GamerSupps, for sponsoring the Strawman.
I like that he
and
likes buff women.
To our next
Hi, I'm a buff woman.
Program.
5 years ago, I made every Warhammer 40k faction explained. A passion project of mine for a universe that I enjoyed so much. Its main purpose was to be a drawbridge, the separation between the layman who had only ever seen the big armored blue man.
That is, Outer Puppet, that is the problem I do have with GamerSupps, is sometimes I'm like, okay, this looks amazing. I have no idea what this tastes like. I have no idea. It just says, I'm just like 6-packs, it's sweet 6-pack, so maybe it's sweet, it's something sweet. Cherry pineapple. Oh, that sounds good, actually. Cherry pineapple sounds amazing. Honestly, that sounds delicious. Might have to buy some. Might have cherry pineapple. Cherry pineapple. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Situated neatly next to a Wetzel's Pretzels, and then the hardcore Warhammer lore nerd.
I feel like he glowed up between these two. I don't know. Does he not feel like there's a little bit of a glow up between these two? I think the little bit of pepper in his beard and like the glasses are helping him out a lot here. I think that this is a good glow up for him. This is a horrible frame to pause on, because this is him doing the same kind of with both mouths, but like, my lord. My lord. He started to hang out with Matar and Cottontail. That would make anyone's life better. Hi, Bricky. Would you introduce me to Cottontail? I'm a fangirl and have a crush on her. But I'm also like, I don't know. I'm Canadian. I'm good. You should like me. I think that you'd like me a lot. You should pay attention. And then you'd be like, no, this is the perfect girl for Cottontail. I'm gonna introduce her to Cottontail. I do remember watching some of your collabs with her, the two of you together, and maybe I just want to kiss Cottontail. I'm sorry, Bricky. Don't. Okay.
Just too wide, and there was nothing bridging these two together since 2020.
Wait, no, Cottontail's part owners with that. I knew that Cottontail was like doing. I thought she was just being sponsored by the Toothpick Company. I didn't realize she partly owned it. Girl boss is girl bossing. What the heck? Girl boss is girl bossing. I'm so impressed. Whenever I learn something new about Cottontail, I'm more impressed by her and just like saying pop off queen. Pop off queen.
Warhammer has exploded in popularity thanks to
COVID,
quality game updates, and a few excellent video games, and a couple mini-series. The sheer volume of people who have told me they have purchased miniatures due to that video alone makes me feel as if Games Workshop owes me commission. However, that video is incomplete. I was not a casual fan, but I was also not a hardcore lore junkie. In the 5 years since that video's release, multiple channels have sprouted up, and the drawbridge between casual to the obsessed has never been wider or easier to traverse. Even I, myself, have been a part of Adeptus Ridiculous, a podcast teaching lore in a much simpler and condensed form. Needless to say, I've learned a lot. Warhammer is so much more than just Spaceman shoots big gun. It has also grown substantially from its origins, being a Warhammer Fantasy spin-off just in space. Now, it is a black library filled with immensely deep characters, difficult themes, and even some tear-jerking stories. It is a backdrop for a million stories over a million worlds, and I did not see its true depth in 2020. But now, I'd like to share what I've learned. We just had a brief summary of the world and each faction that takes place during it. And we did that because to truly understand each faction, we must understand what makes them the way they are. And to do so, we need to begin in chronological order, discussing their origins, their culture, their powers, and of course, what makes them oh so grimdark. So let's begin with the group that started it all and sing praise to the Infinite Empire.
Outer Puppet, I'm glad you get to go home now.
The Necrontyr were the original form of the Necrons, an alien race far away from us that lived short, painful lives due to the irradiation of their star. Normally, this would manifest as like a sort of cancer, a space cancer of sorts. The Necrons are very much inspired by the ancient Egyptian aesthetic, but unlike the windswept dunes commonly associated with it, the irradiated hellscape the Necrontyr endured was far from picturesque. This also translates into their hierarchy. They are a race of nobles and peasants. Most of the peasants would often live for their very short amount of time, only a couple of decades, while the nobles tended to have better care and would live a little bit longer, but still far less than the average life.
Anicalids, thank you. That is a very good word. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome for coming in and saying that. The Rattle Me Citrus Bone Baby Boys. What the?
Lifespan of a human, even today in the 21st century. The leader of the Necrons was Zarek, the Silent King. He was the one who took the deal with the Catan and the Deceiver. Of course,
sometimes
he wasn't aware of
I don't want to wear them.
They were known as the Deceiver at the time, but the whole species was blinded by hate after being debased by the Old Ones on their quest to cure their illness. The sheer pain that underwent the Necron race can't be understated, as their fear was manic. The Catan are, of course, gods that eat stars, and when the leader of your species tells you to march into the gigantic green furnaces to ascend to immortality, you march. The scenes from these are long lines of both the peasantry and nobles clutching their loved ones in a frantic act to save their own lives. Many of them already inflicted in the late stages of the space cancer, some of them crawling into the biotransference furnaces, trying to outrace death itself, without realizing death was the one who made these to begin with. What came out the other side was a soulless husk. And I say that literally. A soul is not an abstract concept like it is in our world, an immaterial version of oneself discussed and debated in religion and philosophy. No, in Warhammer, a soul is a real, tangible item of oneself. And the Catan basically were just like every single person who went in their furnaces. If you were a peasant, you came out a Necron warrior, and you as an individual have ceased to be. You have no mind, you have no soul, and your body, as you know it, is made of an extremely advanced mass of re-knitting living metal known as necrodermis. You cannot think for yourself, for you do not have a brain to think with. All you do now is await protocols from your overlord. lords, which are the nobles who came out of the furnaces with
So they maintain the nobility even when turning them into soulless husks? That sounds bad. Why not just make everyone into soulless husks or make it random? Why do the nobles get to be all high and mighty? Why do they get to be those overlords when they could just be soulless husks with the rest of us? Dear Lord, just let us all be soulless husks. Jeez.
minds intact, not their souls.
Oh, okay.
Mind you,
Never mind.
because-
Just fine.
But
They ate
their
their soul.
minds are very much intact.
Okay.
These nobles now have command protocols, and they are able to command all of their peasantry and do with them whatever they wish.
No Bobs
Zarek,
anymore.
the Silent
No.
King, is the most
Open
advanced
Bobs.
of all the Necrons. A perfect metallic version of himself with incredible power and intelligence. His strength allowed him to lead the undead and the unthinking armies of the Necrons to battle against the C'tan when they were at their weakest due to their incessant infighting, and then win back their freedom. But gods cannot die. So in reality, what occurred is the
Gods can't die? Watch me. I'm gonna nom their souls. Just watch it. You don't even know. When you see a god in front of me, I'm gonna rip their soul from their body and treat it like a nice little cookie. And I'm gonna nom it. Nom, until that god is nothing left. Gone. Oblivion. Doomed. I am the destroyer of worlds. The consumer of all divinity. I am LuminusRed.
C'tan were shattered into thousands of pieces, and each shard of their god was trapped in a stasis vault and mind controlled to do the bidding of the Necrons they once enslaved.
Cool.
The biggest challenge they face now are actually the upstarts of the galaxy. The Eldar and the Orcs were quite prominent, and as you can imagine, a galactic war really takes its toll on the joints, or I guess the servos. It was in their best interest to wait out the galactic rise of the other
They are
races
conceptually a part of the universe that's why they can't die. Otherwise, it would mess things up.
and come back in a more opportune time.
That makes sense.
So they went into
That makes
stasis
sense.
via these massive tomb complexes hidden beneath various worlds, biding their time until it was once again their opportunity to rule the galaxy. Zarek, the Silent King, as penance for his failure to his people, exiled himself into the darkness between stars for the next 60 million years with
Welcome back, Blood
perfect
Rose.
memory. A constant reminder of the doom he inflicted upon his people. Flash forward to the modern day, and the Necrons are reawakening. But
Okay.
it isn't working as well as it could be. Whether the tomb world is reawakened naturally or by some imperial moron stepping on a green glowing rock, the Necrons have come back to reclaim a galaxy they consider rightly theirs. But
Jeez.
60 million years of hypersleep have taken their toll. Many Necron dynasties awake with systems unrestored and huge swaths of their population's minds completely lost. Necron nobles wake with various mental faculties compromised, sometimes exhibiting traits similar to excessive paranoia, schizophrenia, or even dementia. One notable Necron, Nemesis Zandrek, believes that he is still back on his home planet fighting off separatists and interlopers. See,
Excuse
over
me?
in the separatists come, attempting to outflank me as they did at the 4th Battle of Vindach. How they calculate that daubing themselves green and roaring like savages will produce a different outcome, I cannot fathom. But it is of no account. Ready, my legions. Another glorious victory shall soon be ours.
Yeah, no, that's a bad sign. If you think that the orcs are the people that you've been fighting for a long time or long ago, that sounds a pretty bad sign. Honestly, therapy. Let's just get therapy for all of these people. Just therapy for the entire civilization. Therapy for the mindless, therapy for the minded. They all deserve some therapy.
Individuals such as the esteemed Imatek the Stormlord seek to usurp the newly returned Silent King
There is
for
no
rightful
therapy.
ruler over the
There's only
Necron
war.
race, believing his
Also an
time
option.
has come to an end. While scientists and archaeologists like Trazen the Infinite and Orikin the Diviner spend thousands of years bickering over artifacts and petty squabbles. Truly, the Necrons are a faction of unthinkable, unimaginable
Because
power,
expensive.
held
Hell,
back
Cotton's Bluetooth is just
entirely
cheaper than that.
by their own hubris.
Listen, you're not wrong, and I know by example, because I'm on that. I'm on that constantly. But like, that's a pretty, that's good for my mental health. But I also think that, like, I don't know, I'm still an advocate of therapy. Do therapy and cotton split with Tzeentch. Hi, Tubes. There is no therapy that can fix millions of years of robotic brain damage. But we could try, Tubes. We could try. We could try. There's only try, no do. What? No, that's the wrong quote. You think that I'm lucid? You think I'm sane? Just think again. You think that? Then you're just as insane as I am. Chatty chat chat.
And 60 million years of stasis. It is a species that does not know of time, only of the ravages brought by it. A pharaoh of a dynasty may just be as frightened to awake completely mad as they are to be assassinated while they sleep. Thousands of years pass in an instant. There is a play, like an opera play, a retelling of the war in heaven.
I know that. I've seen this YouTube video. That is it Harry Potter and the mysterious ticking thing, where it was a pipe bomb in the end? Is that what this is? Am I remembering this correctly? Am I remembering this correctly? Is my memory doing the correct ones? I don't know.
Culture that takes 40 years to witness, because why leave? You have no need to eat or vacate your bowels. You are immortal, but you are soulless. Despite the Necrons' incredible technology, their mastery over time, reality itself, despite all of this, they still are missing a soul. And therein lies the biggest struggle. Most Necrons look to conquest the galaxy, kill the interlopers like the humans, Eldar, and orcs that scrape at a fraction of their power. But the end goal for many, including Zarek himself, is to return the souls to their bodies, to undo the horrible fate he cast upon them. This is not the interest of all. Many simply wish to rule their dynasty with an iron fist and kill all they consider unworthy. But to many others, it is to undo the decision that doomed them all. Before they can do that, there is a xenomorph that needs exterminating. That is the fundamental understanding of the Necrons. They are so hyper advanced that their science borders on magic. They play with the fundamental aspects of reality and time. Their mastery of the physical galaxy is the strongest in the universe. Their weapons reduce people to the barest molecules, and they have devices capable of causing stars to supernova. They are unfathomably difficult to kill, as if you do fell one of their number, the living metal reknits itself, and the reanimation protocols allow it to come back alive once again. They're masters of teleportation, and often killing a Necron fully will just have its consciousness translocated back to their tomb world to await reassembly. Normally they utilize large phalanxes of warriors and honorary combats, but some of them have fallen to various mind viruses. The destroyer cults are hell-bent on killing anything and everyone that lives with an overwhelming force. And then there's the flayed ones. Necrons cursed with I have no mouth and I must scream, a panic attack virus, as the last laugh of Landogo, the Flayer Catan. Slowly losing their minds, they strip apart their foes and adorn their bodies with the skin of their enemies, trying to better return to their old feelings of flesh and blood. The Necrons are a degraded version of their mighty empire, and still one of the biggest threats to the galaxy. The only thing keeping them at bay currently is their awakening sickness and their infighting with no care to the timeline. But they are coming, and slowly they plan to rid this galaxy of the vermin that inhabit it. My people shackled the stars and broke mortality when the species you sprang from had barely left the slime pools it spawned in. Our wars burned reality, and the dominion of our kings is without limit. The ground you tread on is not yours, it is ours. The war in heaven was a catastrophic time for the galaxy, and as stated in the above quote, burned reality. Of course, souls exist in Warhammer, and in the case of the Necrontyr, they were consumed by the star gods. This begs the question, however, if you were to pass on, expire, as one might put it, where would your soul go? The answer to this is the warp. In Warhammer, a soul is real. And so is hell, the afterlife, the Empyrean, the Sea of Souls, the Immaterium.
No.
All of these names refer to the dimension parallel to our own, known as the warp. Now, the warp is not like our reality. It does not follow the classic normalcy of time and space. It is defined as the Sea of Souls, and it acts like this in a more literal way than you can realize. To imagine the warp is to imagine the sea itself. Hell is real, and you can surf on it. It has a current and can become more dangerous depending on where you go and how bad the weather is.
Check this out, chap. I'm gonna hang 10 on your grandmother. I'm gonna go out there. I'm just gonna style on Abraham Lincoln. I'm gonna do a nice little 360 dip into the ocean. We're gonna see the freaking Parliament of London just riding into the future. It's gonna be great. Oh, honestly, I'm going to just freaking swim in your mother soul. Just so you know, I stole your mom's soul and threw it into the soul, by the way. The soul sea. I stole your mom's soul, by the way. Hi. She let me kiss it out of her. Yeah. I drank it out of her and I spat it into the ocean. And now I'm surfing on it. She let me do it.
As the Immaterium is a reflection of our reality and of our souls,
full of anti-shaming,
all emotions, all feeling that goes with a soul is passed on into the warp. If an entire planet decides it's going to engage in a blood-fueled rampage of murder and gore, then the warp around that planet will be affected in a similar manner. It's not something that you can see. It is a parallel, not perpendicular dimension. But it is changing. To expose oneself to the warp for any period of time invites certain death outside of the most iron-willed of individuals, and to stare into it will drive one mad. Much like...
Hi, Chad. I stared into it for 24 hours straight. Nothing has changed. What does that say? No, I'm not iron-willed, that's what for sure. I'm insane enough to start with! Gobbledygook! Poke my eye out with a panty pop, and then I will drink your soul, and then I'll spit it into the oceans, and then I'll surf on it. Yeah. Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much is a little bit?
The open seas, things dwell.
Send you to the Inquisition after
Whether these beings were always there and were just emboldened by the carnage of the galaxy, we can only speculate at. At a time, you could say it was more calm. But a certain faction's galactic war in heaven didn't do it any favors. Now the warp is turbulent, and its realms belong to a pantheon of gods known simply as
The way that it cut off, I thought he was going to say Karen. It's just Karen. The entire pantheon? That's Karen. All hail the mighty gods of the Karen. The Karenonic gods. No pantheon, it's just the Karen. It's the Karen gods. They want to speak to your manager. Oh, they want to kiss your manager too. Jeez, man, the Karens are just into you today. Oh my. These Karens are into you. They're not at you. They're just here, but it's just chaos. Lies. Lumi stared at it for 24 hours. Gay. Valid.
The forces of chaos are beings that serve directly under their
outer
patron
puppet.
deity.
Exactly.
There are 4 current gods of chaos at the moment: Khorne, Tzeentch, Nurgle, and Slaanesh. Each of them represent various facets of and emotions of sentient species and play a great game against one another for total control over their realms.
Is Slaanesh
Interestingly
the
enough,
lesbian?
while their disciples have physical forms we can understand, the chaos gods do not have a physical visual that you can perceive in reality.
Okay,
so while there are tons of fantastic fan art, we do not know what they truly look like.
Excuse me? Excuse me, is this Slaanesh with that tongue? Is that tongue supposed to be Slaanesh? She is not a lesbian. No, that would be too limiting for she's pan, eh? But is that her tongue? Is this Slaanesh? She has that type of attachment. Lovely. Is that her tongue? Is this her? Is this her? I'm thinking I might be into Slaanesh. I could start a religion over this. Beautiful woman with a massive tongue and a outward-facing genitalia. We don't know.
Color-coded. Khorne is the god of blood and murder, carnage and slaughter.
Slaanesh
He is
type,
the
yes.
one who is most powered
yes.
by the wholesale killing of any living thing. For Khorne cares not from where the blood flows. With a sacred number of 8, he is the lord of all things involving killing and blood and gore. The champions are extremely strong.
Khorne likes gore. Khorne Khorne. Gorn likes core. Does Khorne like the Gorn? Does he? Because Star Trek would be canon in this universe because our universe is canon, right? So does Khorne like the Gorn from Star Trek? We should ask Khorne that. Someone get it to a Khorne priest and ask if they like the Gorn from Star Trek, because they like killing people. I wonder. I'm curious. Do the Khorne like the Gorn? I'm wondering. What are the gods' favorite Star Trek characters? I need to know.
Muscles and extremely large weapons. A true analog to Khorne would be his greater demon, the Bloodthirster, an enormous muscle-bound flying devil with an axe so large it splits tanks in a single swing.
Holy
they
crap.
move into battle with armor of brass adorned by the skulls of their foes and pools of freshly spilt blood. This may appear to be quite frightening, of course. Demonic, one might say. But in the world of chaos, all emotions feed one of these gods in one way or another. If you were to define Khorne with single words, you would use blood, carnage, murder, skulls. But you'd be missing out on important ones like strength, honor, prowess, courage, and skill. Khorne is not just about the wholesale slaughter of people. He is about the honor and power of martial combat. The true strength there is in besting someone in physical strength and skill. Of course, a murderer would be someone who would feed Khorne, but a soldier could feed Khorne.
Someone could be Khorne fat as well. I don't know. The feed Khorne. It is... It's Khorne. You got your learner's permit. Congratulations, Charles. It's Khorne. It's Khorne. It's Khorne. Your abs feed Khorne.
A artist or professional fighter could feed Khorne. A warrior, good or bad, feeds Khorne. A diplomat does not. A premier soldier does. A GoFundMe does not. This is what leads many mortals down the path of
But what if it's a GoFundMe to put on a boxing tournament? Then the GoFundMe does. Because it's all in the favor of martial combat. See, I beat you to this, Bricky. You think you're better than me? You think that you're better than me because you hang out with Cottontail? Well, you're right. Much better. You missed about 30 minutes of this, Charles, that's what it is, in this chat. The fact that you are the only one who acknowledges Warhammer lore a bit means that so many are just so aware of the universe, and it's probably for the best. Oh
Khorne. For he will bless those that bring him enough skulls, and in a world this destructive, there are many ways to reap a high tally for him. Prepare the dread claws and unchain the mad ones. Glorious battle awaits us today, for the world below has refused to surrender. Let us descend upon them with fury and rage, giving no quarter and sparing only those warriors who fight well enough to earn a place amongst us. As to the rest, their lives and possessions are ours, but their skulls are for Khorne. Normally, if I ever want to explain Khorne, I just kind of show them this clip.
I'd never stab you in the back, Shepard. Warriors like you and me, straight to the face.
Moving on, Tzeentch is the second god, the god of trickery and mischief. The change.
Why is his belly a mouth? Are his eyes mouths too? Is he just mouths? He's just mouths, except for his hands, which are eyes, which I don't know. Is he? Wait a second. Is he holding his tongue with his feet? Is he licking his own feet? He's licking his own feet. He's licking his own feet. This must be some form of trickery because I don't feel like this thing should exist. What is Tzeentch doing, honestly?
Of ways, the great conspirator and the architect of fate.
Tzeentch.
With a sacred number of 9,
What are
Tzeentch
questions,
is truly
really?
the
I
god
feel
of
unsafe,
change
me
in
too.
all of its forms. But there is an obvious undercurrent of mischief and cunning. Tzeentch is such a liar that his pants have gone thermonuclear.
Oh my gosh!
Where the f
His favorite pastime is asking
Who would've
questions
thought
that
would
have no
happen?
answers while simultaneously making up answers on the spot to a question he didn't ask.
Have you ever had a dream that you want you could do him to do so much you could do anything?
Yeah, I feel like my streams feed this guy. Tzeentch, I think he feeds off of my existence. I feel like I'm a pretty big contributing factor to him right
Conniving little bastard that every emotion of lying, of scheming, of trickery is a direct way to help feed him. An unfaithful partner, a politician, a spy. All these people feed Tzeentch in one way or another.
Oh,
and
maybe
it
I
doesn't
don't.
matter if
Maybe I
the
don't.
intentions are good. Acceptance does not feed Tzeentch. Change does. Tzeentch doesn't
I feed
care
Slaanesh?
about
Okay.
your facts. He only wants
I'm
opinions.
claimed by Slaanesh.
because
The beautiful woman with a lovely anatomy is claiming me. That's the best news in the day. Glad I grabbed my boob by doing that. I grabbed my boob instinctively. I maybe am feeding Slaanesh. I don't know anything about Slaanesh, but it feels like it. Okay. I guess I'm not
represents
feeding
change.
this
He
one.
also represents hope, though. Schemes are not always bad, and even the hope to make a better tomorrow is the change he seeks. Because he is the architect of fate and the mastery of sorcery, his presence
I am
is
my own god.
purely unknowable. Every depiction of a Tzeentchian demon contains more eyes than are necessary and more mouths than I know what to do with.
Yeah,
it is
no.
a biblically accurate angel if the angel gaslit you into thinking birds are government drones. But are they? The creatures at his disposal adorn themselves with the knowledge of sorceries and the unknown, all to provide a mind.
Does this guy have a book on a stick? If a book's on a stick, you can have a stick for breakfast. You can have a stick anytime. Or no, a book. Wait, no, a book on a stick. If it's a book on a stick, you can have a book anytime. It's just like a bagel. They should put books on bagels. Then you can have books anytime.
A crushing experience. Fighting demons from outside of our reality is difficult enough, but fighting demons from unreality, purposely attempting to trick you, is a whole new thing entirely. And that is before we even get started.
Are you sure, Charles? Are you sure that your chickens aren't laying little nuggets of tungsten cubes? You should double check. Are they tungsten cubes? They might be. They might be tungsten cubes. Where do you think tungsten cubes come from? You think those just naturally occur? No, they come from chickens. They come from their I'm forgetting the word. Their orify that does the dirty and the dirty. Cloaca. Remember the word cloaca. That's where tungsten cubes come from. They come from the cloaca.
Gigantic bird of sorcery you're going to need to face. Do not
Yes.
ask which creature screams in the night. Do not question who waits for you in the shadow. It is my cry that wakes you in the night, and my body that crouches in the shadow. I am Tzeentch, and you are the puppet that dances to my tune. Third of the Chaos Gods is the one of acceptance of rot and pestilence, the grandfather himself, Papa Nurgle.
I hate
Nurgle
him.
is the exact
I hate
opposite
him.
of Tzeentch. Where Tzeentch believes in change and hope for a future, Nurgle believes in stagnation and the end of everything.
Okay,
At one point,
so of the three that we've got so far, I like I like Nurgle the least, and I like Tzeentch. I like Tzeentch the most. He loves you? What does that mean? What does that mean? Do you think I'm falling off? I'm stagnating. Stagnation, I'm rotting? What are you saying, Amuse-Bouche? No!
or another, we will all decay. We will all rot, and we will all end. And with a sacred number of 7, every single thing, pestilence, boil, and everything in between, comes under the great shadow and girth of
Nurgle's
Nurgle
just chilling,
himself.
though.
For
I hate
Nurgle, the
him.
plight of
I hate
mortals
him.
is
I hate
his
them.
fear
Is this gross?
and wine. And no matter how
This one has
solid
boobs and
life
it's still
might
gross.
be, everything will decay in the end. In the creation
He has the
of
happiest
life,
followers.
there must be an end to that life. And nobody has more creations to end lives than Grandfather Nurgle himself. Every boil, every blemish, every pus-filled wound and disease, every rot and every plague is kept and concocted by Nurgle. This, humorously, keeps Nurgle as a jovial god. He is full of life and laughter.
I don't
and
like
by creating
him.
as many diseases as he possibly can, he shares that joy with
If you call
mortals.
someone your puppet and that one puppet kills you, did you control the puppet and kill yourself? I don't know, Charles. I don't like this
His
still.
envoy is the Great Unclean One. And look at how happy he is.
I don't
and
think
there's
that's...
a lot of him to love. A fear of
Yeah.
death in general is
I don't
feeding
like this.
Nurgle. All disease
I don't like
makes him
Nurgle.
stronger, but to pray for salvation for a wounded
What
loved
about
one
puppets?
is to feed Nurgle. The timeless and inevitable fear that one day you will rot and decay is what gives him strengths.
Huh.
The Peloton won't feed Nurgle. Licking the doorknob on a public bathroom certainly does.
Gross!
However, should you embrace your grandfather's gifts, you may find an end to your pain. Maybe. All mortal followers of the Chaos Gods found themselves there in one way or another, either through the direct worship or the slow corrupting of their souls. But those that take Nurgle's gifts and embrace the decay of their bodies may end up being
You're not
chosen
wrong,
among
Bloodrose.
his few
You're not wrong.
as a faithful servant. In doing
Okay.
so, you will be free of the pain caused by Nurgle's ailments, and you may even find yourself just as jovial and happy as he is. Maybe. His enemies shall wither and die. His allies shall wither and die. The universe and all within it shall wither and die.
Yeah.
And when the great
No worries,
corruption
Constantine.
has settled
I
over
will.
the land and permeated the very
Oh, you can't look at this? I will,
foundations of
yeah.
reality itself,
That's fair.
then shall the Lord of all rise from the rot and ruin, spread his arms wide to reclaim all of his dutiful children. Those were the three major chaos gods for a very long time.
Okay.
Emboldened by war and death on a galactic scale. Ever present, but now fact on the suffering of a galaxy. One race, for a while, was able to elude the pull of chaos. An advanced race of psychically attuned aliens whose master over the physical world was so strong that chaos could not glean from them the morsels of power they once had. Or so they couldn't. Not for a long while. 60 million years ago, in an attempt to
Get your spray
combat
bottles
the
ready.
Necrons and Cottontailva, the old ones made a new species. One with innate power in the warp and the ability to harness it with a
What's
mastery
with their
that was
helmets?
unseen by so many others. A mastery so powerful, the Necrons retreated to sleep in order to wait it out. It was no longer a galaxy to be ruled by them, but instead begin the age of the...
I can't read that.
The
I can't-
Eldar
I
are a
can't-
race of
the Eldar,
pointy-eared
got it.
humanoids that are all psychically attuned to the warp. If we're being meta here, these are space elves, and these elves ruled the galaxy in the time the Necrons went to sleep and humanity began to rise. The Eldar's empire was galaxy-wide and lasted for longer than any other galactic power that we know of. Their understanding of all things was exceptional. With every single one of them being psykers, they had the ability to master the warp and use it to their advantage. See, being a psyker is basically like being a wizard, or I guess in this case it's more of a sorcerer, since you are born with the gifts as opposed to learning them. In order to utilize your psychic abilities, however, you must then reach into the other dimension, into the warp, into hell for that power. So if you were to say, cast fireball, your mind would reach into the warp, gather the strength to rewrite reality, to then cast fireball. Now, you might think to yourself, doesn't that mean if you are opening up a power to the warp, you may create a lot of risk to yourself because of all the horrible things we just talked about in the warp? Yes. However, in Warhammer 40k, willpower is a real, tangible thing, in the sense that in its own right, it can be weaponized. Being strong of will means being strong of soul. And being strong of soul
I would be very powerful in this universe then. Cool. Sick. My willpower cannot be broken. I can be broken by beautiful women, but not my will. My will is unbreakable. Unbeholding. Undiamondable. What? I was trying to make a reference here. My brain is very easily breakable, if you can't tell, but I am not my will. I shall will you all to and have a nice day. It's wizard time, motherfucker. Cast your fireball.
You can resist the pull of the warp that much more. A more inexperienced psyker
Harry
opens
Potter
up a
Jesus
hole
meets
into the
Doom.
warp that is large, and that hole widens to get more power, allowing evil things to get in. A powerful
Tzeentch has many
psyker
temptations to break
is able
you?
to open a very small hole, but with immense force to get the same amount of power with less risk. The Eldar are master psykers. Every single one of them can call upon the warp. And over millions of years, they have perfected.
I would be king. Based. I want to be that. I would offer myself willingly, whenever she wanted, as soon as Slaanesh wanted it, just immediately. Just immediately.
So much so that
I'm
they
doing
can
it right
weave
now.
Structures out of it. In some species in the galaxy,
I don't even know much about
they
Slaanesh.
utilize
I'm just
the
kind of
warp
guessing here.
itself for interstellar travel. The Eldar ain't having any of that noise. How about we utilize a fancy alternative mode of travel that is substantially safer than the old ones created called the Webway? What about dying? Miss me with that. We no longer age. And if we do, we can just be reborn like that. Food, water, materials, we make things out of distilled warp essence itself. We sing unreality into cathedrals to dine in. What?
It's not as fun as you'd think it would be.
Could the Eldari Empire
Bet you're
possibly
wrong.
fear?
What could another elf? It's
The
Bricky with a
Eldari
knife.
Empire's biggest fear was themselves. With a society so perfect, they wanted for naught. And this led them down dark and dangerous paths. When the base functions of society are no longer a problem for you, you tend to...
Well, women with wings would be an ideal lesbian. I mean, it's not better or worse. It's just good. It's just good. It's the same. It's the same. It's equal. Hell, we could get art done. She would be the ultimate. I honestly, Blood Rose, it's the same. It's neutral for me. It's one or the other. Both perfect partner. It's good either way. It's good either way. It's good either way. It's the same.
Experiment. Perhaps the medium rare steak on your plate would be better if it was elf meat. Hey, I'm not saying we should make cannibalism legal, but like, what's the issue with a little taste? Violent sports is one thing, but how come we don't do sports to the death?
She's never not broken. He's just
I'm just saying, like, if both participants are willing and clear about it, like, what really is the problem?
And they're
there,
immortal.
You know?
They can come back. So
is
I
in
guess.
the eye of the viewer, and what is considered art is completely up to the concept of one's own interest. A canvas adorned with the blood of a man wrong.
The thumbs up is killing me. The thumbs up is insane. It just ding. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm loving the elves so far.
Visual
They're fun.
poetry that our society needs. Hedonism with a slow and consistent hedonism. The Eldar slid backwards into debauchery of the sort I cannot discuss on this YouTube video. Murder on stage, delicacies and drugs distilled from one another, the trade of slaves and concubines, and much worse. The Eldar physiology has their emotions heightened, and they can feel more than a human does. So while it can provide lows of pure despair, it can also provide greater highs than you have ever known. And
Yeah, that doesn't
between
sound good.
the two of them was the Eldar game. The warp took notice of this heavily. And it began to react. On a galactic scale, the debauchery and the hedonism of the Eldar race caused levels of warp storm so...
Are you saying this Chaos God is the one of debauchery and hedonism? Oh God. Okay.
And so volatile that it cut off interstellar travel for all those who used it. Communications between planets was removed, and a nightmarish era of old night began. This continued for thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years. The Eldar all but removed from the problems being caused as they entered heights of more and more ecstasy. They needed more and more and more. Nothing was ever enough. More murder, more torture. It's it's delicacies, it's life. This silence offends Slaanesh.
This silence.
Wait.
The other Chaos God! I conveniently didn't mention. That's been cut off.
Slaanesh, the prince of pleasure, she who thirsts, the god of unspeakable excess, is our fourth Chaos God, with the sacred number of 6 adorning their title. Slaanesh it's a bit of a tricky one. Because with our other 3 Chaos Gods, there was a certain understanding of human emotions and desires. But for Slaanesh, that desire is how they get their power. The words to be used would be decadence, pleasure, perfection, passion, excess, and many others. The pursuit of more. The want to do more, experience more, become more. That's what gives Slaanesh their gifts. A lot of people believe that Slaanesh is something that originates with sex, specifically, and it makes sense why they assume that. The visuals of Slaanesh patrons are all very lithe and sexual, but they are also intentionally.
I'm also noticing it seems like they're androgynous. Like they seem like they're intersex. They're kind of like you, Belle from Yu-Gi-Oh.
Androgynous to appear attractive to a variety of intrigues.
Oh, sorry.
However,
Here,
to think that Slaanesh specifically derives from sex would be mistaken.
Blessing is the mark of hermaphrodites. That makes sense. That makes sense. It makes sense.
While it is true that a lot of humanity's actions can relate to getting laid, and Slaanesh is the dark prince of desire, it's more on the lines of feeling an excess of an emotion. It is excessive touch and scent and desire, and a lot of that has to do with sex. That's why it looks like sex, but it's more than just that. A patron of the arts may feed Slaanesh, one that aspires to become the perfect chef or master of their craft, and the sheer pursuit of that alone will feed Slaanesh. Whiplash is Slaanesh's absolute favorite film. Videos where people beat Elden Ring on a dance pad feeds Slaanesh.
So I'm feeding Slaanesh a good meal. I'm trying to become one of the best VTubers in the world, if not the best. You know what? I want to be the best VTuber in the world. I want to be the top. I want to be the best. I want to be the top of the top. I'm feeding Slaanesh a very good meal. Though technically she won't have been born yet, so I'm like, I don't know, maybe my vibes are just waiting in the universe for Slaanesh to absorb later on. So Slaanesh noob logic. So we're related. We're both and so what if we're related? We're both considered, oh god.
There are no 2 words in the English language more harmful
than good job.
I remember this movie.
But is there a line?
No, man, no.
This also moves into the concept of feeling. Sensation is a majorly Slaanesh-coded thing. It might start off...
Bro, you're so Slaanesh-coded right now. Like, you're just, like, feeling all over the place. Hi, Jammy. Feeding Slaanesh before it was cool. I am the first patron of Slaanesh. You all are just enjoying her like a game. I know this is all real, and I will start feeding her with all of my woes, my power, my effort. My emotional spectrum is going to the moon and beyond again, and I will show her that I will become the very best like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test, to train them is my cause. I want to be the very best Pokemon. I wasn't sure how long I could do that without getting copyright struck. I don't know how sensitive YouTube can be on that kind of stuff. Does Pokemon's feed Slaanesh? Oh, traveling Tarift? After. This is a good question. Since the Eldar were before humanity, does Slaanesh arrive before or after the current day? After. Okay. Perfect. I got it right. But, Pokemon feeds Slaanesh. If Pokemon is still being watched by humans in the future, which I have to assume it will, then it is feeding Slaanesh as well. Pokemon is Slaanesh's favorite anime. I'll send you some total Warhammer 3 trailers. Great fantasy introduction. Ooh, thank you, Logan.
Feeling good, but then you get to play around a little bit, you know? You play with a little bit of pain.
Fall of Eldar is 30 millennium
might not
early.
Be enough,
Got
so
it.
You might want more. Or inflicting the pain.
Sadism is based.
Jam.
I mean,
Music can increase to volumes that may hurt your ears, and even then, that might not be enough. More. You must have more. Many of the disciples of Slaanesh carry a demonic form in their lithe grace. The Keeper of Secrets is his chosen envoy, and their movements are a blur of dance and pain with an aura all the more fatal. They dance and sing, but there's always a form of malice behind every action they take. An alluring gaze that will pull you in.
I'm really into Slaanesh's entire vibe. I know that there's negatives to this. I understand that, but like, This is fun. I like this conceptually. I'm liking Slaanesh. All hail the mighty Slaanesh. Praise be to Slaanesh.
Entity can crush you in that grip. Slaanesh's palace has 6 layers surrounding it, and one of them is the excess of gluttony, where the participant finds themselves in a beautiful banquet full of the most delicious foods imaginable. Tables of delicacies and rivers of wine tempt the user to such a degree that they cannot stop stuffing their face.
Listen, okay, so I understand you want the excess, but wouldn't an endless goblet be more effective than a stream of wine? Because at that point, you're wasting. You're not enjoying the excess. It's all passing you by. If it was all going in a funnel hose directly into your mouth, it should be fire hoses suited for the mouth of wine. See, this is why I invite Slaanesh. I think you should invite me in your palace. We'll do some redesigning. We're gonna make it more excessive. I think you're wasteful. That's not excess. That's waste. That's something that's decay. That's despair. That's not your thing. Excess needs to be focused. If it's not focused, it's waste. It's different. It's a very different thing. Yes,
unaware
indeed.
the things they are eating are very vaguely familiar meat. If one does not see themselves drowning in the river of wine, they may soon fill their bodies up so much that they cease to function and fall over, becoming part of the banquet themselves. That is one of these 6 layers of Slaanesh's palace. This was the ecstasy that the Eldar civilization indulged in for millennia, and did so at a monumental scale that they created a god from it. Find pleasure
They swim and then drank its giant funnel. Okay, got it.
Let lesser races feel the burden of their crude lives. We are beyond such concerns or worries. Every power is ours to use.
You're right, Griscale. How do you know that I'm not pre-Slaanesh? Maybe Slaanesh got into the universe before this and was just biding her time, waiting, and just decided to do a little bit of fun. I don't know, maybe, who knows? You would never be able to tell the difference, would you?
Every sensation ours to experience. We are truly masters of the galaxy, and all others exist only to satisfy our curiosities. We have earned our position of power. Let us forever taste the fruits of such achievement. Time itself is ours to command. We are eternal.
Congrats. The Gangoons at Come Station, no! Oh no!
With the birth of Slaanesh.
Hey, it's me. I see myself in that title card. The Gangoons at Come Station. The Gangoons at Come Station. I feel like I'm gonna like this a lot more in a couple seconds.
The Eldar Empire ceased to be. A catastrophic event so horrible that the warp ripped a hole permanently in our reality. A fissure forever known as the Eye of
Satan,
Terror.
not station. Goon Satan, not station. But it's the Goon Station. It's the place where you go and you want to goon. It's a station. It's just like a public station where you can go and goon. Like some of that free use art that I've seen. The public goon station.
Inhalation of this god's largest breath, the Eldari souls are a currency to be now collected by she who thirsts. Trillions of Eldar died in an instant. Slaanesh gorging on their souls to satisfy his palate. 99.9% of their entire species died, and the rest are doomed to a fate worse than death. For Slaanesh now stakes a claim on each and every Eldar soul. From the moment they pass on, an eternity of torment awaits them. The remaining Eldar devote their entire lives to stopping this eventuality. Their dying race so devoted to saving themselves from the Dark Prince, and in doing so, have found very creative ways.
I can't read this text font.
In the modern world of Warhammer,
I have dyslexia. This is not helping.
Eldar are the main force of Eldar in the galaxy and represent the elf style that many think of when you think elves in space. Fantasy. elves in space, not those elves.
Got it.
We'll get to them.
Oh.
A Craftworld is a monumentally large starship, the size of a continent, that acts as a form of flotilla. During the highest reaches of hedonism, many Eldar saw the demonic writing on the wall and began to try and seek asylum from their own debauchery. Those Eldar left on monumental craft worlds into the far reaches of the galaxy and saved themselves from
Slaanesh. So this is reminding me of a Stargate like Atlantis city ship, but then it also looks like a Wraith Hive ship. And like this is like, I don't know, I'm just getting a lot of Stargate Atlantis from this. Specifically Atlantis because like, I mean, while we're getting a lot of like Stargate vibes here, this specifically just feels very Atlantis-like, especially like this looks like a gold Wraith Hive ship, and it's discussed like it's a freaking city ship, like Atlantis itself. I like Stargate, by the way. So fun fact, the other Chaos are jealous and fearful of Slaanesh, since not only is she the youngest, but also most rapidly growing in strength because of how broad her source of power is. So true. Honestly, a lot of the things that, well, because like she also overlaps with other things, because like especially Khorne, he hates Slaanesh. Yeah, because Khorne's thing is killing and stuff, and Slaanesh is like, yeah, I'll have some of that too. I'll have a little bit of that pie. And then like the other two are just like, yeah, no, cheating people, the cheating, when you cheat on someone, when you trick them, that's gonna be for me. It's like Slaanesh is like, oh, cheating, I like that. That's excessive debauchery. Thank you. Take a little bit of like that. And then like, oh, Gorn like, well, what if you want excessive pus? What if you're really into excessive pus? I don't know. What if you just want to drink all the pus? Well, that's a little bit for Slaanesh too. Honestly, Slaanesh sounds like the best. I'm really into Slaanesh. Slaanesh accepts all emotions. She just is like, ooh, I'll have some of that. She's at the table. She's excessive. She's excessive. It fits her. It fits her. It fits her. It makes certain sense that she's just like, oh, I'll take a little bit of that pie, a little bit of that pie, or no. I'll take all of that pie. I'll take all of that pie. Make more pies for me to take more all of, please. And now I'm gonna gorge myself while also pleasuring my fields of maidens. Yes. Nurgle, here, Slaanesh, we can stare STDs. We can share STDs. Slurps. Dear God, yeah. Everything decays. Can't get more excessive than that. That is excessive. No, I think it'd be more if you want 1,000%. Slaanesh is everything bad and good you feel. Yeah, and I feel a lot of good and bad things. Not just pleasure, but also perfection. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist myself. I'm pure food for Slaanesh.
Awakening. The main thing the Craftworld Eldar seek is to temper their minds and bodies in a way that will never allow them to slide back into their old ways. The representation they carry is that of a more feudal Japanese motif. Eldar follow paths as they age, the path of the warrior, the seer, the poet, the diplomat, the bone singer, and so on. These paths are a strict code of conduct to hone the heightened Eldar psychology down a school of thought and action. And if it sounds a hell of a lot like Bushido, well, you're damn right. Here's a medal and a soul stone.
Oh,
don't lose it, or an eternity of torment awaits you.
Wait,
Going
soul
through
stone?
These paths will allow you to take up not just
I killed half of
in
everyone.
Eldar society, but
no.
keep your
I killed 200% of everyone for Slaanesh. Excessive. Wait. 10,000%. I got you, girl. I got you, girl. I got you, girl. It's a Thanos joke, but also Slaanesh joke. There goes another 10,000% of everyone in the universe and other universes. I concluded every single existence, every layer of reality. You let me do this again? Oh my gosh, another 10,000%. Jeez. At a certain point, this is not excessive. This is 10,000% of zero, which is zero. But, you know, I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. How to beat Slaanesh. Limit pleasure to sad... No, I think you can just have limited pleasure. As long as it's not excessive of any kind of thing. Sad wicks and unbuttered toast. Not enough.
Clear
okay.
From the past worries that plagued them. Every Eldar is
I'll do more of this later.
Psyker. However, very few of them actually utilize their psychic powers for fear of tempting she who thirsts. A large amount of emphasis is also put on
she who thirsts. Could that not be a title game to be? She who thirsts. I am LuminusRed, she who thirsts. Oh my gosh. If you enjoy literally anything, if you feed Slaanesh. Why is Beat getting beat? Freaking Beat keeps getting caught as freaking, honestly, it just keeps, like, how to beat Slaanesh was caught for sex-based terms. And I'm like, Slaanesh wasn't the word being caught there, which would be understandable. Beat was. It's like, how do we beat this game? This is a sex-based term, buddy. You gotta be a little more careful with your wording. Just like, what the heck? Presenter, Lumina Bikini. Slaanesh would pass out from blood. God, you're talking me out my entire. You're gonna make me feel a little bit and excessive. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna feed her so well. Honestly, fire. Funnily enough, that's the height of pleasure for most Imperial citizens. Oh gosh. So, you are she who thirsts. Honestly, yeah, no, I am she who thirsts. This is perfect.
Ancestors of the Eldar, and learning from them the farther you go down a path. This can sometimes be seen by the large variety of jewels adoring the armor of Eldar. Those are called soul stones, the biggest middle finger to Slaanesh they can think of. See, when an Eldar dies, these stones act as a backup, and instead of their souls going to
sweet, hi, sweet, hi, you're beautiful. Stay gorge. You're gorgeous too. Hi. Sorry, I'm she who thirsts. And there's a beautiful woman in my chat. Enjoy your lurking. Sorry. I just wanted to say hi repeatedly because you're beautiful and worthy of love and awesome and amazing. Yes, go follow Sweet Frequency. She is also one who thirsts, but I am the one who thirsts. I am she who thirsts. I am praying to Slaanesh really hard here now. I'm gonna do it really hard. Oh my gosh, let's keep going.
Slaanesh, they are then trapped and stored in this little stone. So when the Eldar say they commune with their ancestors, they mean so very literally, as the spirit and soul of generations before them are stored here. Often larger structures may contain vast amounts of soul stones, such as the Infinity Circuit in the Craftworld itself, allowing the souls of the dead to help power their enormous starship. The young do not desire the discipline of the path, but rather their curiosity drives them to try every fruit from the tree. Thus, it is that so many take the path of wandering or the path of damnation in their first years of adulthood. And so, the great tragedy of our kind is played out again and again as the number of our people shrink from generation to generation. These paths, when completed, allow an Eldar to move to the next one, then the next one.
Literally impossible
However,
to do.
since this is the grim darkness of the world, many of these paths rely on combat. The Eldar
Gilgamesh, thank you for the follow. Welcome in.
actually had gods at one point. Cain, Vol, Isha, Azaryan, and so on. These
what's the jar?
gods are
What's the
aspects
jar?
of the Eldar pantheon, and while many were killed in Slaanesh's creation, their teachings live on. For some, the strongest devotion to the Eldar gods is to join the Aspect Warriors and embody the wrath of Cain, their god of war. While guardians of
Nurgle
the
put
Eldar
Isha in
Craftworlds
charge.
are more akin to a trained militia, the Aspect Warriors embody a particular variant of the path. Each are led by a Phoenix Lord, a name passed down from generations and embodying the souls of fire Phoenix Lords with each new one. The Howling Banshees led by Jane Zar, Fugin and his fire dragons, Baharoth and his swooping hawks, or Malgan Ra and his dark reapers. Each aspect shrine carries with it the Eldar way of war. Fast, hard-hitting, and incredibly tricksy, for they do not have the numbers to fight in any other way. The Craftworld Eldar show how mangled an empire can be by their own actions. They once ruled the galaxy in an honest, non-hyperbolic way, but in the end, they were bested by themselves. And their most prominent
Why does it feel like every civilization is like downed by themselves? It just keeps going like, it's like, you know, they were taking over, they're awesome, but they met their biggest match, themselves. And then they fell, and then someone else came up, and then they fell because they were too much of a match for themselves. It feels like, honestly, as soon as you take over the universe, you need to watch out for yourself, because you're just like standing behind yourself with a knife. You're about to stab yourself in the back. It's just gonna happen at this point. Honestly, Tzeentch is probably eating well on this, honestly.
Are forced to drift aimlessly through the galaxy,
Hubris is their downfall,
trying to save their species from extinction and resist the temptations of she who thirsts. But for some, the party,
I'm the one who thirsts.
Beginning.
That's me.
Deep within the webway is the city of
I think I gave myself brain damage dancing to that.
This dark city once existed as a port in the webway that allowed for ease of transport for the Eldar between its various domains. The significance of this city meant that it needed to be a bit more of a neutral territory outside of the jurisdiction of general Eldar law, and therefore it was allowed to self-govern. This did not go well. The Dark City became the hideaway for all manner of sin. The Eldar race slipped into debauchery on a galactic scale that it birthed a god, and this was the city you went to when that wasn't enough for you. The convenience of being so deep within the webway was that it exists as a blind spot to the horrors of the warp. So while the rest of the Eldar fled the downfall of their species, Kamara kept partying. When Slaanesh was birthed, they were saved the worst of it, thanks to them being nice and neatly tucked away inside the webway.
Got it.
But only somewhat. The Dark Prince did not have a grip around their soul, but the tiniest pinky finger, and they were still pulling. But due to their excess hedonism, they found a solution to this problem. If they tormented others, they could temporarily rejuvenate their souls and continue to cheat their inevitable death by placating the Prince of Pleasure. And if they kept this up on the regular, they could effectively become immortal. Thus, the Drukhari were born. Unlike the more stoic elves you see in works of fiction, the Drukhari themselves exist as a sort of analog of the more grim and fiendish elves you find in Norse and European mythology. The Drukhari are soul vampires, but the more basic means to feed are hardly enough to keep them going. This desire to feed is known as the thirst, and to quench it effectively, they have
she who thirsts, she who thirsts. I'm really doing it the camera.
Mastered the art of biotechnology and dark sciences to really juice themselves up on the crispy soul sprite from the vending machine called the Galaxy. The majority of Drukhari act as pirates and raiders and slavers. They go into our physical reality and drag people back to Kamara to commit atrocities that go beyond any imaginative torture a human can think of. The Drukhari are organized in various groups throughout.
Stephen Sanders, 1989. Welcome in. I hope you have a great day. I'm learning about the glories of Slaanesh.
The Dark City to accomplish this in a more organized and extremely brutal way. The Cabals act as the main warriors of the city, led by their archons. Witches and succubi act as entertainment for Kamara in gladiatorial arenas, and the flesh-crafting homunculus keep the Drukhari alive and discover ever-increasingly more painful ways to torment their ever-increasingly large supply of slaves.
Wait, go back, Lumi.
The Dark Eldar.
Wait, go back, Lumi. Okay, he mentioned succubi. One second.
Organized in various groups throughout the Dark City to accomplish this in a more organized and extremely brutal way. The Cabals act as the main warriors of the city, led by their archons. Witches and succubi act as entertainment for Kamara in gladiatorial arenas, and the flesh-crafting homunculus.
Wait. They have gladiatorial succubi? They have Do they have colosseums that are orgies? Whoa.
Alive and discover
ever-increasingly
more painful ways to torment their ever-increasingly large supply of slaves they are brought. The Dark Eldar see the other inhabitants of the galaxy as little more than cattle, livestock that can be brought to bay or slaughtered at any time. Their fodder, however, is not meat and muscle, but the anguish and despair of the weak. The Dark Eldar do indeed drink blood, but also tears, and most sustaining of all, the raw essence of pain they wring out of their captives. The truth of the matter is that Drukhari sustain themselves on the suffering of others, not just morally, but physically. Kamara is a city rife with backstabbing schemes and murder. It is the worst back alleys of the worst ghettos at the best of times. Nothing is more horrifying to a Drukhari than death, for death will see them in the talons of Slaanesh for an eternity of torment. So they do everything they can to stop this. The homunculi covens regrow dead members from pieces of flesh as bargaining chips. The succubi create grisly gladiatorial spectacles that literally rejuvenate the audience members as captives are murdered for sport. To be captured by the Drukhari is one of, if not the worst fate imaginable in the world of Warhammer 40k.
They should just give in to Slaanesh
built
instead.
on war crimes, they are the most debased war crimers of all time. To be tortured
We
and
found the universe. We found Canada. This is Canada. This is where it was. This was Canada all along. The most war crimes. Welcome into to Canada. We have war
in
crimes.
The gladiatorial arenas is a blessing, for you have escaped the fate of being in the flesh smith's control group, or being turned into a living and breathing piece of furniture for an Archon's quarters. In
Honestly,
a cruel
yes.
twist of
I would go to
fate,
the. I would
a
like
newly
gladiators,
born
please.
Drukhari does not arrive into this world loving torture. It is something they must grow to love. Grow to appreciate the suffering of other beings in order to survive in the world they have been brought into. If they succeed, they become some of the worst monsters in the known galaxy. A dark reflection to the Craftworlders and a taste of what Eldar society was like before the fall. If they do not succeed, they must find purchase elsewhere. Often those will join smaller parts of Eldar society like the Exodites or the Harlequins. Exodites believe in a pre-industrial variant of their society, often retreating to more lush worlds to ride dinosaurs and live off the land. Prehistoric style that I would normally laugh at if they weren't riding dinosaurs like ballers. The Harlequin dancing troupe are a subsect of Eldar that are more than just a little strange. A carnival of dancing jesters that serve the Eldar laughing god of Keggerak. They arrive never when
age
expected
verification
and leave just as
demonetization of smut.
blurs of light carry their footsteps as they dance their foes into a grave. Combat is just as much of a joke as it is a play on bloody murder. They travel and aid many other Eldar,
This is fun.
sometimes
I like it.
even humanity, for reasons we can never understand. Perhaps one day we would have, were they not stripped of their army book and folded into the Eldari Codex. So I suppose it'll have to stay a mystery, or maybe it's one of Keggerak's master plans to get back at she who thirsts and save their species. Who could know? Perhaps it was all a sick and practical joke to Keggerak, and he would just find it very funny to watch me fumble the discussion of one human on a tiny blue planet across the galaxy.
Honestly, yeah, it could be. I wonder if the Mass Jesters from HRS are based on them. Oh, maybe. We should read the Jester's lore again. What is it? Never gonna give you up? Never gonna let you down? Never gonna come around and desert you?
The fall of the Eldar, Earth, or Terra, as it's called, was in ruin. One man who looks to put the pieces back together. Where did he come from? We don't know. Some say he was the result of early shamans.
From
Some say he is the final old one who escaped their species genocide. And those that are smartest know the answer is, it doesn't matter. He revealed himself as the Emperor of Mankind, and he was tasked with the most monumental upheaval of humanity possible. The Eldari's warp fluctuations had turned the golden age of humanity into old night. Interstellar travel cut off? Check. An AI uprising? Check. Brand new psykers popping up and not knowing how to handle their powers? Oh, check. Demonic incursions? Check. Thousands of years this occurred, and now the Emperor of Mankind showed himself to put the pieces back together. Unifying Terra under his rule, the Emperor founded the Imperium of Man and ruled it with an iron fist. He was the supreme leader and nothing could stand against him. He wished to remove mankind from the yoke of its former failures, and he knew he would be the best leader they could have because he was right. AI banned. Religion banned. You did as the Emperor told you, or his Thunder Warriors would put you in your place. That place often being a grave. Now, Terra was thriving, but humanity needed to reclaim its long-lost brethren scattered across the stars.
Makes sense.
To do so, he needed those that could build him a fleet truly meant for the reconquering of the galaxy. And so he turned his attention to the red planet of Mars.
The Martianus?
Mars and Terra were close allies long before the Unification Wars. Mars was the first world terraformed by humanity and became what would ultimately be the first hive world, an epicenter for industry and technology. The Age of Strife did not treat the Red Planet kindly, however. Mars was cut off from Terra during this time, and the warp storms that ravaged the planet turned it into an absolute nuclear hellscape. Those who were on the surface were turned into your run-of-the-mill mutant if they even survived the bombings they inflicted on themselves, but others were lucky enough to escape beneath the red sands in powerful fallout shelters. These became their generational habitats, but this resulted in extreme reliance on technology and those who could use it. They began to view the technology keeping them alive less as a technological advancement and more of a divine intervention, with those skilled in it as priests. The Martians began to worship the power of the machine, and this resulted in the formation of the Cult Mechanicus, the belief in a holy trinity known as the 3-in-1. The machine god, serving as the spirit who gave rise to all technologies known, the motive force, the deity that gives all life its ability to live, and the Omnissiah, a physical manifestation of the machine god itself. This belief began to manifest in them physically as well. What were once humans began to really mess around with the character creator options, and this tech obsession made them view instances of flesh to be weak and spend their lives removing what makes them human and replacing it with mechanical augments. Robotic limbs, glowing eyes,
praise the Omnissiah.
dendrite arms. What was once a mass of flesh now looks like the back of a router, and the oldest members of the Mechanicus no longer even look slightly human. In addition to this, cloaked over all of their mechanical appendages are robes that reflect the color of their homeworld, the red robes of the Mechanicus. The Cult Mechanicum, now the Adeptus Mechanicus, create a fascinating combination of cultures all birthed into one. Basically, techno-zealot monks. Organic life is the machine god's greatest accomplishment within the scope of the great work. All praise he who is 3-in-1. By giving us life within an organic shell.
It does feel like that, like they freaking had just like a 3-in-1 multi-tool, and they're like, this can do so much. Praise be the 3-in-1 multi-tool. And then that evolved over time. The flesh is weak. From the moment I understand the weakness of my flesh, it disgusted me. But deeds endure. I'm now getting a lot of references I did not realize were from Warhammer. That's really great. I'm glad I'm learning. But it feels like it was just like a 3-in-1 power tool that they freaking just accidentally mixed up the instructions with. Like they had their Bible and they had their instruction tool for the 3-in-1 wrench, and they mixed them up, and then they're like, praise be the 3-in-1. Praise be my 3-in-1 shampoo. Give me a religion out of this, honestly.
He presents us with the means and opportunity to improve upon physicality, as is his divine plan. He grants us complex weakness so we might learn metallic strength and ascend to his level of machinic perfection. The Emperor's arrival to Mars was very much a walking in with the pizzas while the room is on fire moment, but to the Mechanicum, they saw his arrival as confirmation of their belief. They took one look at the glowing golden entity that showed up on their doorstep and were like, that's him. That's the guy right there. And they immediately accepted him as the Omnissiah. Obviously, showing up and being called Machine Jesus shortly after wiping out all instances of non-Machine Jesus a little bit beforehand is an instance of capital H heresy. But the Emperor saw the bigger picture. Were they strange with how they rubbed unguents on themselves, burned incense, and prayed to machines for them to work?
Yes.
Sure, but that's a lot of production right there. So the Emperor devised the Treaty of Olympus Mons, a unifying agreement between Terra and Mars. And this union will be permanently
it's finally
etched
working.
into
I'm
the
so glad,
Aquila
Sophia.
of the Imperium as the two-headed eagle. One head for Terra, the other for Mars. The forces of the Emperor will be supplied with all the technology and weapons they needed to reunite the scattered remnants of humanity under one banner. And the Mechanicum of Mars will be able to keep doing what they were doing religiously and scientifically so long as they kept up their tithes. This tithe meant total quality control over all technology in the Imperium. Is it a big spaceship? AdMech take care of that. Tanks? AdMech take care of that. The literal bullets in a gun, you guessed it. But unlike the factories of today, the Forge Worlds of Mars and the creations of the Mechanicum are a bit of a different experience altogether. Instead of a factory on a random given world, the entirety of the planet's surface is dedicated to manufacturing. But that's a little tricky,
looks like it,
isn't it? Considering that the usage of Silica Animus, or AI, is a big no-no, and basically the largest affront to their divine machine god possible. Fortunately, there's a really neat alternative that they've come up with, and that's called a servitor. Incredible devices that can do anything from manufacturing, maintenance, basic door operation, even just float around like a helpful little drone. It's an extremely easy process too. All you need to do is take a human who is dying or preferably an enemy of the state, most likely that one, and lobotomize them. And then reprogram their brains to do exactly what they tell you. They even got little baby versions of them. Yay! So now you can rest easy knowing that the entirety of the Imperium, because they outlaw AI and learning new tech is heresy, is run on lobotomized slaves. Whether they deserve it or not is unimportant, and whether they can still keep their consciousness trapped in their own minds is another thing entirely.
Excuse me? Why does it hurt?
An excerpt from the servitor creation factories. Naked human beings were standing in a switch-packed line between high fences. The manufactorum produced servitors, but it was more akin to an abattoir than a workshop. Every surface was easily cleanable. Servitors with spray units surgically attached to their backs prowled about, hosing filth from slit drains set into the perfectly smooth, slanted floors. As the line slowly advanced, the people were passed through various scanning devices, most of them mounted in ugly, functional arches that let out a constant series of...
My brain is dying. I'm like, oh my gosh, a heartwarming story. I'm wondering, okay, it's like we're about an hour, we have 40 minutes left. Do I need to split this into 2 videos at this point? Because I was like, I thought I was like, nah, I'm gonna power through and do this. But I'm thinking maybe I need to just, we need to find let's find the natural break, and then we'll pause, and then I'm definitely gonna go pee. Probably.
Occasionally, one would let out an angry blare, and the indicator lumens would flash red. The rejected person was...
And also, I'm talking constantly, so I'm 99% sure that this YouTube video is already well over an hour long. Hi, your model's cute. Thank you so much. Welcome in, tired night shift nurse. Oh, nurse. Oh, you like nursing? Good. I like nurses. They're cool. Question: Are you do the World of Darkness lore videos? Maybe. If your attention is waning, then yes, I am starting to lose some attention
by a trapdoor opening beneath their feet. From these
I
pits
just
wafted a
torpedo.
hideous stench and the
Let's find a nice
grinding
little
sounds
spot.
of industrial mincers. One rejected man grabbed onto the lip and hung.
I'm just noticing that this
arms
section
and
is like
hands
infinite.
bloodied, shouting a stream of defiant profanities.
Okay.
Guards lined the grating either side of him and shocked him until he fell. The adepts wouldn't even waste bullets on these people. The trapdoor flipped up, and the next terrified person was ushered forward. Violent metal arms snatched them up and spread-eagled them in the air, and a servitor shearer shaved them all over. At another, they were subjected to a high-pressure counter-septic wash whose chemical stink made me choke from 100 feet away. More scanners, more rejects winnowed out. Machines forcibly dressed them in a heavy, rubberized garment common to all monotask servitors. These were saggy on them, all one size, until another process force-shrank them to fit their bodies, where metal cuffs, sockets, and collars bit into vulnerable flesh. The last few prayers gave way to screams at that point, and even the most stoic shouted in pain. They were ushered over a floor buzzing with power that made them shriek with every footstep. What's that for? I asked. Follicular inhibitor, to stop their hair from growing, he said. Freaking sweet, Lois.
What?
As for their scientific pursuit...
Okay, I think we're gonna stop there. Freaking sweet, Lois, indeed. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for sticking with me for such a long part of this video. We will be getting back to this and the next part eventually. In the meantime, I hope you're having a lovely day. Head on over to twitch.tv/LuminusRed and drop me a follow. And, you know, go over and support Bricky as well. Bye, Lustars.